bunch of angry stockholders and sue, sue, sue. Okay. Do, do, do. Trucker, absolutely. In just a minute. Server. There you go. Just posted the link for the Discord. All right. Let's see. Let's go back to Mono. NXDR is trying to push back a little bit. Might go back up again if you're still in it. Good morning. Good morning to everybody on TikTok and YouTube on Traveling Trade Adventures. We're getting closer and closer and closer to hitting the road. And I hope you guys can join us when we do. Oh, BSME, ATPC, XIL. The XIL still coming down. CRBP. iRobot pulling down pretty hard. I guess we're just going to have to wait for news. Good morning. Sheila, good morning over there in YouTube. Weather 90 everywhere, no snow, you're green to travel summer. Well, it's 51 degrees here in Central Florida. And I think it's going to get up into the 70s today. And perhaps the rest of the week and through the weekend is supposed to be in the 70s. But too cold to travel up north, that's for sure. Gonna hold off on traveling north for a little while. MIGI, remember that one from the other day? That one's pushing up as well. MIGI. They filed an 8K this morning. Let's see. News types, news filings. Just talking about presenting some information at a conference, Emerging Growth Conference presentation. So it's not anything, but it is been climbing up a little bit here this morning. Class action lawsuit. Nothing but class action lawsuits. Jane, good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely going to avoid Minnesota right now. -1. We don't want to travel up there. My heat works very well in my RV, but I'm not going to test it in -1 temperatures. I don't think that'll play out very well. Good morning. Ovo. Did I pronounce that right? Is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? Ovo. Ovo plays. Good morning. Well, we've got about 9 minutes to go here, and we'll throw the 8 o'clock press releases out there. We got a good play this morning on ACIU. I don't know if you guys caught that. Had a press release out this morning at 7 o'clock. And it dipped. It dipped all the way after the press release, about 4 minutes after the press release, it dipped down to $3.21. And from there, it climbed and hit $4.46. So it was a pretty nice jump. It was a good scalp. MIGI still pushing up a little bit on very low volume, but it's pushing up. Ooh, gosh. Trapper is telling me it's minus 20 degree wind chills in Iowa on Saturday. Now that's cold. That's cold. Mr. Elmo, good morning. That is chilly. Too cold for the RV. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's too cold. Your birthday's on Saturday. Well, happy birthday. Hopefully you'll get something really nice on your birthday. And right close to Christmas, too. That's always a benefit, right? You get a birthday present, and then just a week later, you get your Christmas presents. Unless you're one of those parents that like to combine the two together. that makes you feel cheated out. Chris, good morning. But I'm waiting for it to warm up. I'll head north. I'll head up north in the RV in the spring when it warms up there. Don't want to drive in the snow and the ice in an RV. It's hard enough to keep it on the road when it's dry. We won't do that in the ice and the snow. So we might take a few trips down here in Florida. During the winter because it's 70 degrees. We can do 70 degrees in the RV, right? The downside to camping in Florida in the wintertime is the prices. Campgrounds really gouge you in the wintertime. MIGI, again, I'll mention it again, still going up. It's up to 868 now, 869. Six more minutes. If you can hang on, 6 more minutes. When are you headed to the Keys? I don't know. I'm not sure. I really want to go back down there. There's a campground down there, a KOA campground that got to be one of the best KOAs that I've really ever experienced. The property's really nice. The amenities are nice. Let me put it that way. The amenities are real nice there. So I'm looking forward to getting back down there. Yeah, IRBT was a nice one early this morning. Early this morning. Been trending down since about 7:18 this morning, so it's having troubles. that, excuse me, that, I don't know if you guys caught that or not, that AXIL. Did you guys catch that one this morning? AXIL. They put out a press release this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. So if you were with us on Zoom this morning that early, you would have had that one. But they put out a press release at 5 o'clock this morning saying that they had signed a nationwide distribution deal with Walmart. And of course, the stock straight up. I think we hit 140% at one point. So that was a nice one. But it's come back down now. It's only up 76% right now. So it's pulled back off of that pretty aggressively. Let's go take a look at MIGI again. You know, we just hit 916 on MIGI. That was a $2 increase. Nice. Tyler, when are you going to be down there? Over Christmas, New Year's? Vicky, good morning. Both. Okay. Yeah, the KOA down there give you a scope in the summertime when they consider it off season. You can get at the KOA down there 117 to 120 bucks a night, which is for any other campground, that's insanely expensive. In the wintertime, when all the snowbirds are down there and it's packed, they have spots open, but they're about $300 a night. That's more than a hotel. It's expensive. I don't know how them snowbirds do it, man. I don't know how they do that. And they're down there for 2-3 months at a time, 4 months at a time. Do the math. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it. It's just, that's too much. But if you got the money, I guess that's the way to do it, I suppose. All right, we've got 45 seconds. Now we're going to do the 8 o'clock press releases here on TikTok and also on Traveling Trade Adventures. But then we're also we're going to log off of TikTok and we're going to be just on Traveling Trade Adventures. So if you want to get the 8:30 press releases, you'll have to pop off of TikTok here and go to YouTube and look up Traveling Trade Adventures. And that's where we'll be live at. And we'll do the 8:30 press releases there. All right. So let's take a look at MIGI. Pulled down pretty hard off of that 919. All right, let's see what we got here at 8 o'clock. Ooh, press releases aren't coming in. GIBO announces development of initial 30 megawatt, 14,000 GPU AI data center, advancing Malaysia as a leading digital AI hub in Asia Pacific. That's on GIBO. 370 million public float. STEX. Little press release there. Let's look at NXGL. announces spin-off of drug delivery program into NextGel RX. So we got GIBO NXGL. ATOS receives FDA rare pediatric disease designation. It's for a drug they have for muscular dystrophy. ATOS. SOPA, SOPA, announces evolution of its business model, upcoming investments in AI-driven data center and telecoms companies. That's on SOPA, SOPA. XTNT announces commercial launch of its next generation Nanos Strata synthetic bone graft. Class action lawsuit, class action lawsuit. All right, well, I've given you everything that so far looked like it had an opportunity to move. Not that they're going to move. Just because I read them off doesn't mean they're actually going to skyrocket. I'm just giving you the news that's popping up that looks like it has at least the ability or the potential to go up. It's going to be up to you to go actually check them out and see what they're doing. ATOS, that one's up about 17%. SOPA pulled back now. It's in the red actually at this point. NXGL is up about 6%. GIBO is up about 5%. It looks like ATOS is the only one that popped and seems to be somewhat holding on to the news here. But we'll just have to watch it a little bit longer to make sure. Let's go back to ATPC. Let's go back and revisit that one. ATPC pushing back up. It's up 104%. This thing finished off after hours last night around 85 cents. ATPC. Correction. I got to take that back. Not 85 cents, 8 cents. There's a big difference. At around 8 cents. And right now it's at about 13.9. All right, let's go back to MIGI. MIGI pulled down really quick off of 963 all the way back to 715. Huge drop. CVKD. Therapeutics acquires a first-in-class phase 2 inhibitor for patients with heparin-induced thrombocytopenia, or HIT. SXTP announces expansions of Arakota sales and marketing in 2026. Still getting a lot of class action lawsuits. Jakes. RNAZ, RNAZ, and Quantum Leap Healthcare Collaborative launch a phase 2 dose expansion. That's listed as a microfloat, RNAZ. CETX, also listed as a microfloat. They highlight their profitability focus, strategic transformation, and progress towards portfolio expansion. That's on CETX. And the other one was RNAZ, RNAZ. Both of those are listed as microfloats. Along with MIGI, the one we've been talking about, that one's listed as a microfloat as well. And for those of you that aren't aware, I call stocks that are under $1 million on the public float, I call those microfloats. That's what I consider a microfloat. Now, RNAZ just moved up a little bit. Keep an eye on those. If those microfloats can move, when they move, they move. RNAZ, RNAZ, CETX, and MIGI. I'm not guaranteeing that they're going to move. I'm just telling you, with those kind of floats, those things can really push hard, especially with any kind of good news on them. So at least worthy of you putting them on your watch list. And just out of the corner of your eye, keep an eye on them, see what's happening with them, see if they're going down, they're going up, and just kind of monitor them a little bit. And you see one of them that's starting to get a bunch of volume, pay very close attention to it. PETS, PETS. PETS filed a Schedule 13 SEC filing. Looks like we have some insider purchasing here. Take a look at it. PETS. 13 million public float. 1.5 million shares shorted on it. PETS. PETS. BMRA. The Egyptian Drug Authority authorizes Biomerica's complete screening test portfolio. XBP secures multi-million euro agreement with BG Phoenix, a leading IT service provider for statutory insurance in Germany's public sector. That's on XBP. Take a look. So let's take a look at PETS. Pulling back here. PETS has got a 13 million public float. It's not a horrible float. It's not ugly. It's higher than I like. I prefer them under 20 million, but that's not terrible. Let's look at XBP. So XBP spiked on the news, pulled back as expected, and let's see if it climbs up again. All right, MIGI. Let's go back and look at Atos, ATOS. It's pulling back as well. Atos trying to push up. Lucy, Lucy, announces new Reebok Smart Eyewear for gym and indoor sports. That's on Lucy, Lucy. Let's see. Let's go back and look at MIGI. Back to 880. MIGI. We've been covering this one all morning. This one's back up to 895. We hit a high here of 963 this morning. Let's see if it keeps going. XBP. Pets. And Lucy. Let's see where Lucy goes. VSME. We already read that one off. They filed a SEC filing here, Form S8. Now let's look at MIGI again. 912, 916. Remember, I told you it's a micro float. You have to pay attention to those. They can pop out of nowhere and really, really smoke, man. They can really take off. They can look very dormant for a very long time and just kind of going sideways and nothing, no action, no nothing. Maybe in a little dip here and there, but all of a sudden when the volume comes in, boom. 879 to 899. Good job, Dan. G-Man, are you live at 4 p.m. today? I'll be live on Zoom at 4 p.m., but I won't be on social media. Goody good. Good morning. PLRZ announces promising Promethean kinetics supporting advancement of its intranasal naloxone hydrogel program. PLRZ, also listed as a microfloat. Good job, Chili. 195 to 215 on pets. Good job. RCT Red Cloud releases earnings, sets a $100 million revenue target after $50 million Trike deal as an AI infrastructure scales. That's on RCT. Waiting for MIGI to pop again. So keep an eye on. Now we've got 4 micro floats with news. MIGI, CETX, RNAZ, and PLRZ. Scans has those listed as micro floats. Now check your source for floats to compare, but Scans has them as micro floats, and they all 4 of those have news on them. None of the news on any of them is spectacular. It's nothing that we would expect to just go bananas, but we know they're micro floats. We know they have positive news. None of the news is negative. It's positive news. It's not earth-shattering news, but we know because they're micro floats, they do have the ability to suddenly, with the volume, if we get the volume, to just go bananas. So just keep an eye on them. That's best I can tell you. Keep an eye on them and see what happens to them. Let's see where Pets is at. Pets trying to climb back up. CVKD files a SEC filing, an 8K asset purchase agreement with Verilox Therapeutics, to which seller sold all or substantially all of its right, title, and interest in assets owned and otherwise used or held by the seller in connection with the compound known as VLX 1005. Purchase price payable by the company to the seller, a cash payment of $200,000. $200 million upon occurrence of the dosing of the first patient. So there's an incentive payment there, milestone payment. $8 million upon approval of its first regulatory filing. And some more milestone payments, $1 million milestone payments after that. And that's on CVKD. Pets now up to $2.40. Now, Pets, as far as float is considered, we've got 13 million public float, so that's under that 20 million sweet spot. So that checks off a good box there. 1.5 million shares shorted on that stock as well. So there's some potential there as well for a little bit of covering, but we'll have to look at the monthly chart before we get too excited about any kind of a short squeeze. Class action lawsuit. All right, let's take a look at CETX, the other micro float that we mentioned to you. Now, look at CETX. That was the other micro float that we mentioned. This press release came out at 8. We threw it out there to you at 8 o'clock. It's gone from $3.72 to $4.95. So hopefully you went over and at least looked at it. We just wicked to 495. Probably if you look at Webull, it's up higher than that. And it's pushing up again. So I hope you guys made a good trade on that one. A good scout. CETX 506 now. That micro float's starting to work. I told you. Keep an eye on those. Vicky, good morning. Slick roads up here, I'll bet. One and only Vicky, good morning. Are you Indian? You look Indian. No, I don't. I'm not Indian. We hit 506 on CETX. OKYO. Let's look at that one. OKYO. OKYO. Okyo Pharma. Pushing up a little. Don't see any news on it or anything. But it is pushing up. It's gone up, I don't know, 13, 14 cents in the last 5 minutes. One, two, three, four. So now we've got 5 micro floats to keep an eye on. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. MIGI, CETX, RNAZ, PLRZ. And now we just had SSM pop up on our micro float scanner. Sono Group, SSM, NV subsidiary Sono Solar wins a European Transport Prize for substantial sustainability for 2026 for solar-powered refrigerated vehicle solutions. That sounds a bit fluffy, but you never know. It's microfloat. So again, the news seems a bit fluffy, but because it's a microfloat, you have to at least put it on your watch list and keep an eye on it. It may not do anything, but it may blow up, and you want to be aware of it. 428 to 502 on CETX for Pinky. Awesome job, Pinky. Beautiful. All right. Well, that's going to be it for TikTok this morning. If you want to get the 8:30 press releases, which is only 5 minutes from now, pop over to Traveling Trade Adventures on YouTube. And that's where we'll be at live. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:45 right here on TikTok for those 8 o'clock press releases. You guys have a beautiful day. Stay warm if you're up north, and God bless. Okay. Let's take a look at MIGI. Wolfpack's playing that, right? Please tell me that you guys are playing that microfloat. I know one of you is. I know one of you is playing that microfloat. We talk about microfloats all the time. We tell ourselves, gosh, I wish I could find a good microfloat. This thing just popped. Let me see what it's doing. Let me look at the 5-minute chart. Look at that spike on the 5-minute chart. 815 to 1065. Over a $2 jump on that 5-minute candle. Isn't that nuts? That's beauty. OKYO, I mentioned a little bit ago. That one's pushing up. Again, I don't see any news on it or anything, but it is moving up gradually here. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Too much fun. Pets, not moving much. It's not getting a lot of vertical action. Let's keep an eye on MIGI here and see if it pops. $0 on TikTok this morning. Oh, I love it. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I will not get rich on TikTok. That is a guarantee. Byron, 764 to 925 on MIGI. Well done, Byron. I'm glad somebody took the chance on that one. TTGT, YouTube TV on track to become the largest U.S. pay TV operator in 2027. Excuse me, got the hiccups. TTGT, YouTube TV on track to become the largest U.S. pay TV operator in 2027. TTGT is a company called TechTarget. $21 million public float, 2 million shares shorted on it. Look at MIGI. Boom. 1078. 1099. $10.99. Whoo-wee. OKYO. Still hanging in there, still trying to push up. They put out a SEC filing this morning, MIGI, and basically all it was they were going to be presenting a presentation at a emerging growth conference. Total fluff news. But this stock has been getting movement over the last few days. This week, it's been getting a lot of attention. Let's see. VS executes a definitive agreement with Lyft Media to launch interactive digital out-of-home engagement platform across key European markets. VIVK reaches $65 million in debt reduction year to date. That's pretty good. VIVK. NEOV announces a strategic collaboration with Lumina to supply up to 160 megawatts of energy storage in California. Now that VS That one of the first ones I gave you there, that's got a 1.7 million public float. It's got a small float on it. So that one definitely is one you should be looking at. VIVK talking about $65 million in debt reduction this year. That's really good for them. I don't know if retail traders will see it that way, but it is really, that's good news. CISS just took a dive. It's down 76%. CISS, a pricing of a $9 million public offering. Initial exercise price of $1.20. Public offering price is $1.20. Current price 37 cents. Watch for the bounce. It's a micro float. Micro float. CISS. Public offering. Well, it was a micro float. It's not going to be after this offering, because they were already at about 915,000 public float. So this is going to push them way over, because they're doing a 7.5 million shares on this public offering. But they're doing it at $1.20. The current price is 37 cents. So it's far below the offering price. So, and even with a 7 million public float, or probably close to 8 now, still not a bad float. I would look at it for the bounce, but as always, don't try to anticipate the bounce. Know what you're doing there on the bounce if you decide to take it. Know what you're doing. I'm looking at it right now. $38. KITT. Inform Energy Technologies expands subsea autonomy through a manufacturing and sales agreement. It's on KITT. Now, this CISS, as I said, it's not going to be a micro float anymore after this offering. But for right now, and remember, the offering price is $1.20. And we're sitting at 37 cents right now. So I'm going to play the bounce. I'm not suggesting that you do. Please do your own thing. Do not trade it just because I'm looking at it. Be patient. Don't FOMO. Don't FOMO. You know, when they announced the offering, it was still a micro float. So still very few shares involved here. That's why we got this big, massive drop. So I'm going to scale in as usual and hope for the bounce here. Gonna wait for it to bottom out. See where it bottoms out at. Yeah, CISS, the one I got up on the screen right here. Let's see, NRDY, Kit Robotics, Nerdy, MIGI, Sys still pulling back. What the hell? VS tanked along with my account. Well, all I'm doing is taking it where I think the bottom might be based on what the candle formations are doing, the price movement, and all that kind of stuff, and buying it where I think the bottom is. And I may be wrong, and the bottom may drop even more. That's why I don't pick up a ton of them on my first purchase, because I don't know for sure that I'm hitting the bottom or not. Now, if it starts to climb and recover like what I'm hoping it will, I'll start buying in as it's going up to increase my position. But as of right now, I'm not sure that it is going to go up from here. So I'm not buying anymore. But the underlying the anchor here, the foundation of this trade is that I do feel confident it will go back up. I just want to have the best price possible when it does. But I do feel confident it will go back up. With an offering price of $1.20, I feel confident it will go back up. Given the size of the float, I wish the offering was a little less than the 7 million shares. I'd be even more confident that it's going to go back up. CISS, JR. BTTC. BTTC. Let's see what's going on there. BTTC. BTTC. Black Titan Corporation. Been steadily moving up since 7 o'clock this morning. Been staying off the radar. Live, LIVE, reports fiscal 2025 financials, and it's listed as a micro float. Well, good morning. Just trying to decide where the bottom is on this. Again, with the details on CISS, it was a micro float, 915,000 shares. They did an offering, a public offering, with an offering price of $1.20. It was floating around $1.18 when they did the offering. So the offering price was actually higher than what it was currently trading at that moment when the press release came out. So they did an offering at $1.20 a share for 7 million shares. And, and because it was a micro float, when it crashed hard. And I believe crashed a little too hard. So I'm just taking the shot and trying to determine the bottom here. As you can see on the chart, you can see where it's kind of finding some support here. This green line is where I took my very first position. And you can see I've been in the money, out of the money a couple times, currently in the money. But I'm just kind of looking at as it goes here and see where it wants to find a bottom. I didn't take a full position because if it drops down below and wants to run down to like 28, 27 cents, I'll be there to pick up some more. Because I do feel confident it'll go back up. But again, that's just my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong on this. This one may not go back up the way I think that it will. And I could end up taking a loss on this stock. And so that's why I tell you, you make sure you're trading you. Don't trade what I'm doing. You trade you. If you don't like the setup, you don't think it's right, and you don't feel comfortable about it, stay out of it. When in doubt, stay out. That's the best advice I can give you. We're talking about CISS. They did an offering, 7 million share offering at $1.20. The price is 34 cents right now. It plummeted when that news came out. It took a bad drop, and I think overdone. I think too much of a drop. I don't think it should have came down that far. But I don't know if I'm right. I don't know. I'm taking the shot. I'm taking the gamble. I could lose money on this. I hope I don't. I need the money for my RV travel. So I hope I don't take a loss on it. That'll cut into my RVing. All right. And just a quick reminder as well, I have to cut this off right after the 9 o'clock press releases. As soon as the 9 o'clock press releases come out, I've got to leave. I've got a doctor's appointment and I can't be late for this. It's the VA. And when you're late for a VA appointment, they get ugly with you. And they not happy. They treat you like you're back in the military again. So, and nobody wants that. So as soon as the 9 o'clock press releases hit, I'll read those off to you, and then I gotta say goodbye. But I will be back on Zoom at 4 o'clock. I should be back for my appointment by then. I'll probably be covered in Band-Aids all over my face, but I'll be here nonetheless. No, I never did figure out what happened with Chow. I'm still watching it though. And I'm going to have to watch CISS on my phone instead of my desktop setup here, which I'm not too happy about because I can't trade as fast on my phone as I can my desktop. But I'm going to have to do the best I can. My Alex, my main travels when I go out and start filming will be in the spring, probably around April. Pets. Take a look at Pets, PETS. Just wicked up to 242. Live is up to 1534 now. Nope. Ask pulled back to 14.99. Last trade was 15. You got about 10 minutes to go. If you can stick around with us for about 10 minutes, we'll give you those 9 o'clock press releases, and then I gotta skedaddle. You can see how hard it is on CISS to try to guess where the bottom is. It's really difficult because just when you buy something, you think, man, it can't go any lower than that. It says, hold my beer. And down she goes. Maybe that 9 o'clock volume will push it up. go back and look at pets again. Anybody trading pets? PETS? BTTC at Black Titan Corp, that's still pushing up. Look at that climb from this morning. It's doing very well. It's gone from $3.21 to 11. CISS starting to curl back. Alabama Mike, 204 to 240. Good trade. Good quick scalp on that. It's nice. CISS back at 35 cents. We'll see if it goes any higher. I hope so. $35.4. We're in the money. Yay. We're in the money. All right, let's go back and look at BTTC. Hanging in there. Seven minutes. BTTC is up 191%. CISS to $1. $1.20. Let's make it $1.20. BTTC now up 212%. Can drive the RV on the beach here in New Smyrna. Well, I don't know if I'd want to get stuck on the beach in an RV. Imagine the towing bill on that. Well, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us on Traveling Trade Adventures. In the future, when we do some live streaming, it'll be from the RV and talking about other things other than just stock trading. Believe it or not, there's more to me than just stock trading. I have a whole secret life out there nobody knows about. Except the police. But we won't get into that. Oh, gosh. BTTC up 217%, 219, 220, 222, 223. Yeah, and my plastic surgeon. My plastic surgeon has had to sign a non-disclosure form. Oh, gosh. My name's really Bond. Jeff Bond. BTTC now up 238%. Just saying. Oh, gosh. Thank you for the hearts. I don't know what those do, but thank you for the hearts there. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Waiting on CISS. Anybody be honest now. Be 100% honest. Anybody think CISS is going absolutely nowhere today but down? Make me feel better. Cheer me up a little bit. Anybody actually think it's just not going to do nothing or just go down? Because you're not going to hurt my feelings, trust me. Your guess is as good as my guess. Just because I'm on this side of the camera doesn't mean I know everything there is to know. So it looks like most of you think it's going to go up. Yeah, logically it should go up, but you're right. Logic never rules when it comes to the stock market. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but all things considered, small float, the offering price is at $1.20. The logical side of my brain is saying this should go back up. Whether it'll go back to the offering price, I don't expect that. That's a bit much of an ask. But could it jump to 50 or 60 cents? Yeah, I think so. And buying in at 33 to 34 cents, even if it only goes to 50 cents, we've still made a nice little scalp. We've still made a nice little trade. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But they're probably diluting it right now. It's probably being diluted with that offering as we speak, which is causing it to go sideways here between 32 and 34 cents. But I'm getting a little bit more confident in the bottom. If we pull back here and look, you can see it's kind of holding up right here in this area so far. Now that could change. That it could drop and have another big red candle drop all the way down again. So we can't get too lax, but so far it seems to be holding up and going sideways right here between 32 and 34. So we'll count on that for the time being. CASI announces up to $20 million convertible note financing. NXXT signs a 28-year microgrid power purchase agreement with Topanga Terrace. Albertson Media hiring top performance. PSNL points. V PNRX. VNRX says they have solved liquid biopsies needle in a haystack problem. Achieves 180-fold enrichment. which is 18,000%. Not sure what that means, but that's on VNRX. Might want to look at it just to see if other people know more about that than I do. Announced partnership. OXBR, Oxbridge and Surance Plus announce a partnership to bring RWA high yield tokenized reassurance to the Solana ecosystem. That's on OXBR. Class action lawsuit, class action lawsuit, class action lawsuit, class action lawsuit. GoPro subscribers contribute content, licensing, lost money. Looks like out of all the 9 o'clock stuff, VNRX is the only one that's getting any volume, any movement. So it looks like VNRX was about the only one at 9 o'clock that got any kind of positive attention to it in a meaningful way as far as volume and price change. And it's not really doing much at all, but it's the only one out of the 9 o'clock that really got any significant move at all. So we're going to keep an eye on CISS. I'm going to be watching this on my phone while I'm driving. So I'm going to have to put it up on my little holder. I'm going to try to buy, if it starts to move up, I'm going to buy in as it goes up. I'm going to set some buy orders in there in case it starts to go up, and then I can hit the enter button and buy as it's moving up. So I hope to increase my position as it starts to move up. If it starts to move down, I'll sit back and hold off on it and maybe buy the dip. If it dips down significantly, I'll pick up the dip again. But for right now, I'm not doing anything until it starts to move, but I will be on it. And if you guys do well on it today, if it does something that you manage to, or maybe you'll get stopped out and have to take a loss on it, let me know. I'll see you guys at 4 o'clock here with Band-Aids on my face, maybe. And let me know how you did on this one. All right. All right. You guys have a good one. I got to go. I got a doctor's appointment. I'll see you. Traveling Trade Adventures, thank you guys very much for hanging out with me for this long. And thank you for hitting the subscribe button and watching those videos that I've got put up on the channels, and comment on the videos. I don't care what kind of, just a dumb little comment is fine with me. But thank you very much. I appreciate the support. You guys have a great day, and I'll see everybody on Zoom at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Okay? God bless.